In this tutorial we use the multibody object as a subbody. So I set up a simple scene in 3D Max with a couple basic primitives. So they have more segment to calculate the deformations on. I'm gonna go to export settings. I'm gonna use the selected objects, no deformations, just the current frame, and the output SD is gonna be subbodies. So I will replace it and then export. It exported really fast. Just a couple vertices. So let's create another multibody. Multibody, I will pick the subbodies. Okay, I can rename this if I want. Let's call it SBD. Hit D. D is gonna put some texture on it. I'm gonna turn them pink, and we need the dynamics. So we want subbody, and at that point the subbody properties pop up. So we have the density. You can change. You can make it heavier, and resolution. This is basically a value that calculates more accurate collisions. Then all kind of stiffness values. You can control the deformation of the objects with these, and elasticity is like how high it will jump. Then auto collision. It's basically with F1 you can check all the parameters, and they explain it way better than I do it. This auto collision it creates more accurate collision, but the simulation will take way longer. And the plasticity value is really cool actually, because the deforming objects will stay deformed. So you can use it for like a car crash or something like that. Okay, and of course you can put the initial velocity and initial rotation in these values. So let's do the simulation. I want object dynamics. I have the same setup as before with the rigid body simulation. So let's go to Export Central and take a look at what will be output. So you see that the SBD object, which is the multibody, will cache into an SD, and we're going to use the SD to load it into our 3D applications. Okay, so let's hit simulate, and it simulates quite fast. I'm going to pause the video for... Okay, the computer finished the simulation, so we can take a look at it. You see they all deform and bounce around. So with these values, the length stiffness and volume stiffness, you can adjust how rigid the objects look. You can actually crank these up pretty high. Length stiffness you can crank up, length and volume stiffness you can crank up to like 1000, and elasticity works between 0 and 1. And you gotta play with this to actually see the results. Now let's import them into the 3D application. So this is what they do, and I'm gonna go over to 3D Max. Just gonna reset the scene. I want to save it, yes. And SD file import. I go into the objects, and then pick the SBD, open, and here are my objects. So they are baked out into individual objects, and they have these keys are position, rotation, scale keys, but the object's pivots are not moving. It's only vertex deformation, and it's ready from this cache. So you could use this, or you can point cache it, or bake it into the vertices or something. And yeah. about the multibody object. And if you have questions or anything, check my website. It's hyperorganic.com, and you can send me an email to info@hyperorganic.com. I hope this video was helpful, and I'm gonna keep posting more videos explaining more features in Realflow 5. Thank you for watching the video, and see you guys soon.